a diagram on how they had to lay out the competition floor so everything was as even and fair as possible across the board. Second heat is underway, 40 calories on the rower, 1 rep for every 10 calories they complete, and the time to beat, 15 minutes, 34 seconds.
Now, as this heat gets underway, regardless of kind of who I think will do well or not, these are the two athletes I have my eyes on. This is an imperative event for both of them. For Heppner on the left, he has to succeed and put himself in a at least top 3 position. For Chandler, he put himself in a 2nd place overall, pretty substantial margin over 3rd. But for him is that, can he handle being in that top 2 position now with all these guys chasing him down? I think Chandler always does really well when he's trying to claw his way through. The one times you've seen him kind of falter a little bit is trying to fend people off. So this is a very important event for both of these two athletes.
Cole Sager is your leader right now as he is through 20 plus of those 40 calories. And now he is through 30. So 10 calories remaining for Cole Sager, bottom of your screen, second from the left. Everyone's still pretty even as we check our event tracker.
I mean, to look that smooth and be ahead of everybody must be really nice feeling to have.
But he has no idea, though.
Cole Sager also one of the bigger athletes in the field, and that always helps when you're on a rower. Now Alexander Caron is done, and he will get to work.
Caron definitely being another one of those strong athletes in the field. And what it is how is that going to look when he gets to the handstand push-ups in the middle?
Alexander Caron on his 30 D-ball squat cleans at 100 pounds at the 34 rep mark. He will move on to the step overs as Noah Olson is just a rep back of him. Chandler Smith now getting to the D-ball as well. Cole Sager, Gudmundsson, and Moonvall are all there as well.
Front build hat is a bold choice for D-ball cleans. I'm not coordinated enough not to hit that hat. I would have knocked myself in the face by rep 2.
Annie, would you rather compete in a setting where you had no idea how many reps you had to do, but you had athletes around you, or in a total vacuum like this where you knew the event, but there were no athletes around you?
Ooh. I like knowing the event. I would choose to. I don't need necessarily to have anyone around me, and I definitely don't need music. So I don't think I would mind this that much, but I think it's hard not knowing how much is left.
And you've actually gone through that yourself with that unknown event at the games a couple years ago.
Yes, that was kind of uncomfortable because you don't know how to pace yourself. You have no idea. With knowing, you can kind of put up a strategy, and I really like having some sort of a plan in my mind when I go into an event like that.
Alexander Caron continues to be your leader, although Bjorgvin Gudmundsson has closed the gap with him. The two of them swapping the lead here. 148 total scored repetitions at the 34 rep mark. They move on to the 20 D-ball box step overs. Time to beat unofficially 15 minutes 34 seconds belongs to Colton Mertens from heat number 1.
I have a feeling we're going to see that beaten today. I think it's going to be 14. Yeah. Just over the 14-minute mark, I believe.
And we came in, two athletes that this is an important event on. Two athletes that I think will be very successful, especially BKG on the left. We talked this morning when we opened the show, who I think has an opportunity to get back into the top 3 at the end of the day. It is BKG. I like the clean and jerk for him to start the day off. He did very well. This is another event I feel like plays very well to his skill set. He's so well-rounded as an athlete. I like this chipper event for BKG.
And Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson is now onto the box step overs.
Yeah, he's in like really good shape right now. So I have a feeling he's going in to win this event.
Pat Vellner, upper left, he is your overall leader coming into this event with a comfortable 55-point lead over Chandler Smith. Right now, 4th place in this heat. Bjorgvin Gudmundsson continues to lead. Alexander Caron is now on the step overs, as is Patrick Vellner. And here goes Chandler Smith to the step overs as well. So Gudmundsson is starting to leave Alexander Caron behind him. And Annie, you get to see a lot of Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson. People here, at least in North America, don't get to see a lot of Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson. What are some things that maybe they don't know that well about him that make him such a good competitor?
Well, just the fact that he is so well-rounded, and he is pretty smart going into workouts, so he knows how to pace himself pretty well. And for him, like having that gymnastics background, he moves really well, so he doesn't really get a lot of no reps. He's like that sneaky, he is just sneaky good. He is so consistent. So I'm not really worried about him, even him going pretty hard right now. Like, he's not going to struggle on those handstand push-ups. He's just going to continue going.
He's going to get to those handstand push-ups right now through 54 of the 148 total scored repetitions, and now 40 strict handstand push-ups for Bjorgvin Gudmundsson. So Alexander Caron is starting to fall back. Noah Olsen, Pat Vellner, and Jacob Hepner, though, starting to work their way up at least. But now Hepner is back with Alexander Caron. So Olsen and Vellner, as Olsen gets to the handstand push-ups, and Vellner is there as well. Vellner, upper left-hand part of your screen. Olsen is in the top row in the middle. Bjorgvin Carl Gudmundsson, the leader in this heat, are on the bottom left.
For Olsen in the top center, sorry, Annie, I think the handstand push-up is going to be one where he can kind of get a little bit closer distance, at least between him and Gudmundsson.
I was just about to say, like, Noah is so good at handstand push-ups. I have a feeling he's going to catch up here.
These are your top three men in the overall standings. Pat Vellner, first place overall. Jacob Hepner. Sorry, these are your top three. Well, just three athletes. These are not your top three athletes in the overall standings. Vellner is your overall leader. Hepner is fifth overall. And Noah Olsen comes in third place overall.
The nice thing for Noah is that he's so quick at chopping them out. He takes like a decent long break, but he is so quick. As soon as he gets on his hand, there's no stopping for long on top. Like you see, Vellner has a little bit different strategy. He pauses on top between the reps before going down. Like, it's one way to do it. I tend to want to just rest on my hands, but your shoulders are definitely going to get a little bit more fatigued just staying upside down for longer.
Yeah, and I like that from Noah now, that he, old Noah would try to rip off 25 or think he could do them all unbroken, right? So it's good to see him break that up and be more strategic as he's matured in the sport.
And he is through those 40 handstand push-ups, and Noah Olsen is your new leader as he overtakes Bjorgvin Gudmundsson, who is now in second place. So it's two of them, and then it's everybody else, as Olsen and Gudmundsson have opened up a wide lead on the rest of the field. Saxon Panchik is the next closest athlete. He's 10 reps back.
And Olsen's lead on BKG is only about 12 seconds. And, he didn't start right away. What BKG is doing is he's not wasting much time in between movements. You see him finish the cleans, pick up the ball, and go to the box. Now you see him get off the box and probably pick up the ball and go to the cleans.
This is good news for Noah Olsen because right now, third place overall, he's 70 points back of the lead. He's not going to be able to catch Patrick Vellner, but he's only 15 points back of Chandler Smith for second place overall. And Smith is not in the top five right now. Chandler Smith towards the back of the pack here, 8th place in this heat right now. So Noah Olsen can leapfrog Chandler Smith and move into second place overall after this event if this holds.
And Chandler Smith had admitted after the clean and jerk when we talked to him that this actually wasn't a good event for him coming into event number 5.
So Olsen with 1 rep to go before he's on to the 30 D-ball squat cleans, and he is done. So Noah Olsen,
that was unbroken.
Making quick work of those 20 reps. So now 30 reps here as Bjorgvin Gudmundsson is 4 reps behind him. Those two fighting for first place. As you can see on our event tracker, they are out front. Saxon Panchik is the closest man to those two.
Now, that was a long break, though.
Well, he could kind of afford it. He went unbroken on those step overs. That's ballsy.
Now Bjorgvin Gudmundsson is done,
and there's
with
that
the D-ball step overs. He gets right to work.
Yeah, that quick transition. I said that he's been doing so well. Noah went really fast on the 2 step overs, but now Gudmundsson is only 2 reps behind him.
Now Gudmundsson has closed the gap as Saxon Panchik is trying to catch up. Panchik now on screen, going through his second set of 20 D-ball step overs.
One part of me is like, just get that front foot on the box a little bit more for me, please.
Yeah.
Noah Olsen working through his 30 reps at the 144 mark. That's when he will go back to the rower for the final time. But Bjorgvin Gudmundsson has now tied him for the lead. So it's a 2-man race for first place. As you saw, Jacob Hepner taking a break. He's 13 reps back. Pat Vellner right now is in 5th place in this heat. The time to beat unofficially, 15:34. That belongs to Colton Mertens. It's in the upper left-hand part of your screen.
And that's actually going to be very important to see where Pat actually pushes to get kind of back up into at least the top 3 in this heat because of the success that a lot of the guys did in Heat 1. You know, 75 points seems like a lot, and I would say the old guard scoring system. But now with everything pretty much even across the board, it's a 5-point drop from 1 all the way to 18th. That is a huge deal because in the past, you would get less points in between for lower finishing places, which is really rewarding you for placing high, but at the same time, kind of hurting those that don't do as well. So the way this is set up is that Vellner is not out of the woods yet.
We saw Adrian Moonviler going through his box step overs, Cole Sager. That was a look at Alexander Caron, and now back to Saxon Panchik, who currently sits in 3rd place in this heat. Bjorgvin Gudmundsson is your new leader now as he has caught Noah Olsen and passed him on his final set of 30 D-ball squat cleans. He has 13 reps remaining before he gets back to the rower.
Oof, those are a lot of reps.
He's picking up the pace now.
This is where you start seeing the end. Only 10 to go. It's always easy to chop away those like last 10 reps. But that's a lot of squatting for those guys to do.
Man.
Gudmundsson now with 8 to go. Noah Olsen is 7 reps back. Olsen was the first man to this movement. He's in the middle of your screen in the top row, and he has slowed significantly on this portion of the event. In fact, Saxon Panchik has now caught him, and Pat Vellner is threatening to do the same.
Vellner's starting to move a bit quicker on the upper left part of your screen through these D-ball cleans.
Yeah, you can tell when Noah finishes a rep, he tends to walk away from the ball instead of staying just close to it. You just so easily lose 3-4 extra seconds that you actually don't need.
Saxon Panchik has now worked his way into 2nd place as he's about half a rep ahead of Noah Olsen. Bjorgvin Gudmundsson, meanwhile, is done, and he is moving to the rower for the final time. So just 4 scored reps remaining for him, 40 calories that he needs to complete here, bottom left-hand part of your screen.
I'm just watching
Noah. This might
Noah.
just be just under 14 minutes.
Watching Noah's, and as you said, that stepping away. I think this is a classic example when going unbroken goes wrong. Those box step overs are probably not the best idea.
And Olsen has now fallen back into 3rd, and Pat Vellner is threatening to overtake him. And so at one point, Noah Olsen was looking to make up some significant ground on Pat Vellner, and that might not be the case anymore, although Olsen is still ahead of Chandler Smith. That is the man immediately ahead of him in the overall standings, just 15 points separating the two of them. So Noah Olsen, depending on what happens here, could put himself into 2nd place overall.
And then Gudmundsson can leap himself all the way up into 3rd if he gets this finish, especially if he gets 1st place in this event.
Now Gudmundsson just 5 points back of Olsen for 3rd place, 20 points back of Chandler Smith for 2nd.
Wow, Vellner.
There we go.
Pat Vellner back to the rower for the final time as he has now moved into 2nd place, or 3rd place, pardon me, in this heat is Saxon Panchik, the only other man in this heat on the rower. And now Noah Olsen is done, and he is starting his final 40 calories. And Bjorgvin Gudmundsson almost done.
Fast.
Almost 2 minutes faster.
And Gudmundsson is in. That time does look like it is right. It's almost accurate, but not official. So we'll call it 13:44.5. Regardless, we know he beat Colton Mertens, and he's going to win the event. So 100 points for Bjorgvin Gudmundsson as he looks to move into the top 3, and that's probably going to happen given where his competition is right now.
Top left, look at how strong Vellner looks on that rower. He's a potential, depending on the time between him and Panchik.
All the athletes are back on the rower for the final time here. But the fight for 2nd is Panchik, Vellner, and Olsen. They were right behind Gudmundsson getting to the rower.
I'm also looking at Chandler Smith at top line. If they do some math, this is a little bit of damage control. I do like the last event for Chandler, but he said, admittedly, this is going to be a tough one for him.
Now, Pat Vellner's judge his hand, I think, went in the air before Saxon Panchik's, and Vellner is going to take second in the heat, second in the event.
Wow.
So 95 points for Pat Vellner. With one event to go, he is going to be solidly in first place. As Saxon Panchik comes in,
lot of ground
he'll take third place in this event and lock up 90 points. And now Noah Olson will finish fourth place in the heat, fourth place in the event. Colton Mertens right now will slide down to fifth.
Hepner needs to finish soon just to give himself a chance going into that final event.
So Hepner is done. As are Cole Sager and Alexander Caron. So Jacob Hepner right now would take sixth place.